What's up guys, name is Dre and welcome to another 7 Deadly Sins Grand Cross video. So update today was a bit surprising to me because I did thought that it will come out tomorrow, but they put it out today, which is one day earlier than usual. So we have a lot of new characters which I want to go over in today's unit breakdown to give you an idea if you like to pull for the characters and what are their strength and their weaknesses. So as usual on the screen right now you can see the tier list explanation. That's how I do understand the tier list, and if you do think that it wasn't enough time, so just press pause here. And now let's go over the first unit that is introduced in the game. So first unit for today's release is the Green Halloween Gother. So I would give him the Z tier, and the thing is he's basically an alternative version of the Red Gother. So all parts that differs him from the OG Gother makes him very interesting actually. So he has a delayed and time gated ultimate rollback, which hits at the end of the enemy's turn, which is actually the first ability. So depletes 2 or 1 ultimate move gauge depending on the rank, or at the end of the enemy's turn for 1 turn, and this applies to all enemies because this is a AoE card. So even at level 1 this card is very strong in my eyes. So what the overall thing is, in a ultimate or meta where control and like ult rush teams are on the top, he definitely fits, and he has his place in this tier definitely. Additionally to that, he got a passive that is super broken in my eyes. So increase all allies attack related stats by 7% at the start of every turn if all allies in the battle are different races. From what we know is Gotha should be unknown, so you cannot pair him with a Merlin if you want to enable his passive to its full potential. But you still have a lot of other options, a lot of opportunities that you can build around him. But I definitely would go for the passive. You can stack this passive up to 5 times, and but it resets when 2 of the same race exist. So I think you really have to build around a team with 5 different races. And examples that I can give you for that is Zeldris, King, Lost Vein, Meliodas, but you can of course not run Zeldris and Lost Vein in the same team since they are both demons. But King, Lost Vein, Gother, and for example Escanor is a human, or Diane, Giant, so Fighter Diane is a possibility. Red or Green Escanor is a possibility. Arthur is a possibility if you don't want to run Escanor. So you really have a lot of options, but for each race you are locked behind a certain character because you only can play one of him. The overall problem with this card, even if it is in the Z tier, is because you have to maximize him. So your Red Gopher will probably 6 out of 6 and maybe has a full skin set. So this Gopher really needs dupes if you want to use them over the Red Gopher. Of course I do think that this passive and the card does make a huge difference, but if you cannot achieve multiple copies of this Gopher, you won't be able to super awaken him in the future, and you won't have the way stronger ultimate, because the ultimate hits way harder if you have dupes. And that's a bit of a problem for me. But we are not about to talk about this. Now we go over Kyo, the first actual King of Fighters collab unit. So in my opinion I would give him the S tier, and I would say he is the best collab unit because he has the longest runtime for the future. Now releasing him now does make him a bit worse compared to the Japanese version where he just recently released, but the difference is they already have the Fairy Festival exclusive King, because with Fairy King he can enable his full potential to be used. in general, I would say like debuff effects in the future will have a bigger role in the game in general. And for now, he still applies this with his passive, which is huge. So yeah. At the start of every turn, applies 2 ignite effects for 3 turns on all enemies. So he does apply a debuff, a natural debuff, without wasting any of your actions in a turn. So you don't need to use a card, or you don't need to move your cards. You only go into the fight and you can apply this passive, which is very, very strong. In general, I also do think that his kit synergizes in itself very well. So you get like all the buffs. For example, for this, you increase your damage buff per debuff on the target, and this you increase your damage dealt per ignite stack, and this applies a debuff and a ignite at the same time. So you can automatically increase the damage of the both cards, having a solid AoE damage card, having a very strong single target damage card. Ultimate does additionally apply another ignite stack, so I would say he is a very good secondary damage dealer in the team, so maybe also a main damage dealer if you like to use him like that. Overall, very strong unit in my eyes. Let's go over Mei, the second unit. At first glance, I have to be honest, I did thought that she would be the best because her kit seemed to be very broken to me. But the problem that I could see at the beginning is that she needs buffs very badly. Yeah, to make her strong, you need to utilize buffs, and leaning to that, I do see in her a bit of a blue version of the red Escanor. She has a ultimate move back. The difference is it is actually Merlin's, Green Merlin's card. So it is a single target card, and it also applies on level 1. While Red Escanor, so we have him here, his ultimate rollback only applies at level 2. And it is a AoE card. But the second card is the same. We have a Amplify card, but with a 180% multiplier. And Mei's Mei one's is a Amplify AoE card. So yeah. This is of course another difference. So yeah, I don't get like too focused on the fact that I say she's a blue version of the red Escanor. It's like just they changed the abilities. So her ultimate move is a single target card, but it rolls back ultimate, and her amplify card does AoE damage, but has the amplify effect. So basically they just like swapped out the effects on that. And amplify AoE is like she's the first in the game to have that ability. I do think it is still very good. She is very self-sufficient because of her passive. When the hero's skills are ranked up, she can increase her basic stats by 15% for 2 turns. So I do think you can stack that. So let's say you use so she can rank up her cards herself with her ultimate. So if after you use the ultimate, you increase all of her cards, and after you did that, you apply the first act of the passive, and in the next turn you could potentially draw a new Mei card, or you only have them at level 2. Then you can use the rank up from Gopher if you do use a Gopher, and then you can apply another buff and you are at 30%. So I'm not too sure if this works, but if it works, she is a overall very, very strong and self-sufficient unit to that, because you at least can apply the 15% buff, but with Gopher you can potentially raise this even more, and then you can do amplify AoE damage. So she has some flaws, but they could easily be fixed by other units, like as I said, the red Gopher or the green Halloween Gopher. Yeah. Next unit is Rugal. So his abilities are very similar to this unit, the SR Green Elizabeth and Hawk. Only thing that differs is this. She decreases defense related stats, while Rugal decreases the attack related stats. Other than that, the both cards are exactly the same. I think he's like a buffed version of the Elizabeth. but a very nice addition to the PS team, the PS compositions. And overall, he is very easy to understand. So the thing that you want to do with him is to use this as fast as possible. When the hero survives with HP below 50%, removes debuffs and fully heals HP, increases stats by 15%. So you increase all his stats by 15% once in the battle, of course, after he has after he falls below 50% of his HP. So you really want to go as fast with this, then you can increase his stats by a massive amount, because this is once per battle and it will go to the end of the battle. And 40 Pierce compositions, this is huge. And after that, you use him the same as you would do like a blue demon Meliodas. You do the Pierce AoE cards. Easy to understand. The last unit would be Athena. I feel like she is lacking in something and is the only unit out of the King of Fighter units where the kit doesn't synergize very well in terms of passive and abilities, and she is also not very self-sufficient comparing to the others. So still I would give her the A tier. I think I forgot to say the tiers for Mei. So Mei I would give the S tier, same as Kyo. Rugu I would also give the S tier, same as Mei and Kyo. And Athena I would give the A tier. So I think she is a bit worse than the other three characters. Rugu potentially maybe also A tier, but for now I would give him the S tier for this week. Same for Mei and Kyo. But Athena definitely the A tier for now. Yeah, so her main card to use should be this one, I think, the Psycho Ball. So it does detonate damage, so it does 50% additional damage per orb in the target's ultimate move gauge. So per orb to the enemy that you attack. And what I want to say is, for this, I do think that you literally want to kill the enemy with the ability, or in general, you want to kill the enemies if they have a lot of ultimate move gauges as fast as possible. So timing and management are very important, since you want to have everything set up at the right time. So you need to be ready to kill the enemy as soon as he has full ultimate move gauges. Basically, if the enemy has full ultimates, your team has to kill at least one of them in that turn to apply the passive buff. When allies defeat enemies on allies' turns, reduces all enemies' ultimate move gauges by 2 orbs at the end of your turn in PvP. But looking at that fact, the passive doesn't fit in the meta too well in my eyes. So after ultimates are used, the majority of teams are dead anyway. So looking at Lofi Meliodas' ultimate, which is like the main used ultimate in the game, usually all the enemies are dead. So I think I never had a situation after I ulted with Lofi and Meliodas another ultimate was a problem, because he literally one-shots every team. Same for Ascanor. If I use a Ascanor or like on a Athena or like on a other one, why would I be scared of a Detonate Psycho Ball? So I think she's a bit too slow in general comparing to the others. Still, I do think you can make her work. It's not like she is horrible or something like that. So maybe you want to use her in more control heavier teams where you like to slow the game down with a unit like Red Zeldris, where Old Rush is a bit slower or way slower. And yeah, I do think that this would be a very good possibility to use her. Now, this week we have a addition to normal PvP, where your sub-units doesn't come in anymore after one of your main units died. You will start with all your 4 units at the beginning of the battle, which will give you the opportunity to apply an extra passive that usually only can be applied if the character is on the field. So an example to that is Merlin can only be, Merlin's passive is applied also if she is in the sub, but Blue Lilia only applies if she's on the field, and same with Valenti. So yeah, elite for this week is again recovery skill disable. I think we already had it in a past week or a couple of weeks ago. I don't know when it was exactly, but yeah, basically denies to using healers like Lilia and King. And yeah, with the patch this week, there are way too much possibilities because all of these units are good. So even though I said Athene is the worst out of the King of Fighter units, in general, she is a very good unit. And yeah, this will give us a lot of different team compositions to use. So I don't want to do specific recommendations this week. So if you pull for the characters, I wish you good luck. Try them out in a lot of different team compositions. I can see very nice and well-made new meta. And yeah, that's it for today's unit breakdown. I'm not too sure if I want to pull for the characters. I'm still deciding since I go the free-to-play way now, and Goddess Elizabeth is very close to us. So yeah. If you guys enjoyed today's 7 Cents Grand Cross video, subscribe to my channel for more gacha game content, and I see you guys next time. If you guys want to see more gacha game content, videos should pop up on the screen right now. Make sure to check them out, and I thank you for your support.